Guys, it's Corbin with Savage Fitness. We're here to talk about the first thing that I like to coach people through when we're dealing with athletes and movement. So for every single person, there's certain things that definitely apply, and for every single movement. And the first thing is abdominal bracing and deep spinal stabilization. So these are two things that have been very, very popularized by the guys at Dark Side Strength, Ryan Brown and Dr. Chris Hennock, as well as Chris Duffin. So basically, what we're looking at here is creating a stable base for our body to move off of based on our breathing patterns. So for every single person that we're dealing with in the gym, we have to develop this first, the ability to stabilize the rib cage, stabilize the spine, and create a neutral base for the body to move off of. So there's several different techniques to doing this. There's breathing drills used to create a functional pattern of breathing, and then also learning how to optimally contract the abdominal musculature to make sure that you're in a braced position, whether it be a squat, deadlift, bench press, whatever it is that you're doing. You should be braced in neutral, and then your arms and legs move around the braced neutral core. So basically, I'm going to go through a couple cues that are used incorrectly to start with, and then secondly, I'll try and show you guys a couple of the breathing drills that we use in order to instruct people on how to brace the core properly. And again, shout out to Chris Duffin. You can find him on YouTube at the Kabuki Warrior, and also on his blog at kabukiwarrior.com. And then we've got Ryan Brown and Quinn Hennock. You can find them on Juggernaut Training Systems, Dark Side Strength on Facebook and YouTube. So, and they go into this a lot deeper than I will. I'm just going to touch on it because I feel that it's very, very important. So, first things first, when we're looking at people, a lot of times what we hear is chest up, chest up, chest up, or look up. And what we really want to be doing in that situation is creating neutrality throughout the spine. So instead of looking up or arching super hard and causing a lordoic arch here, like when we're squatting or whatever, what we want to see is people pulling the chin back, creating a neutral spine position. So instead, we're squeezing the glutes, squeezing the abs, and then pulling the chin back. And this is going to create a neutral spine where we can functionally brace and then breathe against it. So that is what stays locked in for any movement that we're doing. When it comes to deadlift, take your air, get set up, and then everything moves to let your body move around your hips. Okay, that's what's going to allow you to stay neutral in your brace position and stay strong throughout the lift. Then when it comes to bench press, you're setting arch, you're getting thoracic extension. You're not trying to arch your lower back and still be like round up top. Thoracic extension, shoulders back and down, and that way when you press you can still breathe and create that same kind of pressure. So now that we know kind of how the stabilization works, we want the chest up, which is the extension here, and then the rib cage down. So it's abdominals engaged and upper back engaged, as well as the glutes firing through. So that's how the bracing works properly. Now to do it, basically, the first thing that I cue people on is to breathe all the way out, just force every bit of air out. And that's going to create an extremely tight abdominal section and midsection, and it'll also teach you how to engage the obliques and stuff like that. And then basically you're going to keep that level of contraction and breathe into your abs. So, and you're trying to fill the abdominal cavity starting by breathing into your lower back. So basically you're trying to pull air back and down into the lower back, then your stomach expands, then the chest will expand, and then you're trying to fill it all the way into your upper back. That creates a tight, braced, neutral core. So basically breathe all the way out, then maintain that position with the abs, and breathe in all the way and trying to fill up everything up into your upper back. It's going to centrate your joints, so your hips and your shoulders should become more centrated or set into their socket better because of the optimal positioning of the core. It's going to create a braced spinal position that allows you to be able to move and express force effectively, which is huge. Being able to express force is basically the difference between hitting a pool ball with a pool cue with a marshmallow on the end of it, where it just and absorbs, versus hitting it with a nice strong pool cue that sends a lot of force through the ball and lets you hit it with more power. So basically the barbell is the ball in this case. You want to be rigid so that you can apply all the force into the barbell versus having it like cave you over and then you have to arch or lose force through the spinal system. So we want to create a neutral spine in that case, whether it be deadlifting, squatting, benching, or any other of the assistance movements. Beyond that, there's several different breathing drills that we can use in order to effectively effectively teach this, because gravity makes it very, very difficult for a lot of people to do it, because most people don't know how to breathe properly and they don't have strong enough abdominals in order to functionally work against it with the diaphragm, because they work in opposition. So you flex the abs, breathe with the diaphragm, and it forces air into your lungs. So a lot of people don't have enough strength here to be able to do it effectively. So we put them on the ground into a quadruped 90-90 position. I'm going to do a different video on that because I don't have anybody here to film for me, so I'm just going to do this whole video standing. But basically you're contracting the abs hard, like you're doing a crunch, breathing out all the way, and then maintaining this position for 5 breaths here. Trying to fill as much air into the upper back as you can over time. So start with the lower back, abdominals expand, chest expands, and then the upper back expands. That creates the brace neutral position. If you're doing this properly, you're going to have extreme burning in the abdominals, and you're also going to get very, very out of breath and very warm. Beyond that, breathing patterns are also something that's been miscoached in the fact that a lot of people say breathe into your belly. While that's accurate in that we want to be able to start the movement, or start the breath by pulling into the belly so that we can fill the lungs are in your chest. So if your chest isn't rising when you're breathing, you're doing it wrong. So start with the belly, well, start with the lower back, and we create expansion through lower back and stomach, and then everything else will expand. But we want the chest to expand. We want everything to brace in. That's how we're going to pull in our shoulders and our lats into our core and keep everything braced and neutral so that when we're applying force into the bar, we do it effectively. So that's misused cue number 2. So the first one is chest up. The second one being breathe into your belly and don't have your chest rise. Everything's going to rise. You just let it all settle, and then you're into this brace neutral position. Trying to think if there's anything else. As far as that's concerned, that's bracing 101. I'll try and get some breathing drills up into the video section and show some coaching cues for it as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.